Have you ever felt, like an imposter? Like you're just copying what everyone else is doing just to get by? Well, welcome to the Explainer. Today, we're diving into this absolutely surreal, totally captivating text called the Penal Garden. It's essentially this profound meditation on authenticity, art, and what it actually means to be original. But it's completely wrapped up in this bizarre, fascinating story. We're going to break down the mechanics of this magical world and, more importantly, uncover the real-world lessons hidden right there in its soil. Okay, let's dive right into this with a quote. "You made the false more true than truth, so now you'll tend the replica plant." This is from the text's incredibly enigmatic Warden, and it just hooks you instantly into this wild premise. Just imagine a prison where your punishment isn't, a locked cell. Instead, it's a plot of dirt where your specific crime literally grows right out of the ground to confront you. So let's start out with Section 1. Welcome to the Penal Garden. We're mapping out the bizarre reality of this remote facility, a place where time and space just don't operate the way we expect them to. So what exactly is this place? Well, the Penal Garden is defined as a remote agricultural facility where sentences are served by tending plants that embody these specific crimes committed. Basically, instead of bars and armed guards, the garden uses literal botanical manifestations of a prisoner's actions to force deep, inescapable rehabilitation. I mean, you can't exactly run from your crime when you literally have to water it every single day. And you can really see the poetry and, honestly, the pain of this justice system when we look at the taxonomy of crimes and their plants. For example, look at Mira. She's an arsonist, and her plant is a thornless bramble that only produces fruit after she sets it on fire. Or take Yevgeny. He forged documents to save people from a war zone, and now he's burdened with tending a tree growing 20,000 fake passports. And then there's Finn, an art fraudster who, just like our main protagonist, is sentenced to tend the elusive and absolutely terrifying replica plant. Which brings us to Section 2, the crime of perfection. This introduces us to our protagonist, Kael. Now, Kael is a master art forger, and when he arrives, he's entirely unapologetic, but he is about to face the true, devastating nature of his life's work. What's absolutely fascinating here is the stark contrast between Kael's ideal and reality. See, Kael created perfect copies. They were flawless, idealized, showcasing absolute control over the medium. But here's the catch. In doing so, he basically erased everything that made the originals valuable in the first place. The flaws, the history, the trembling hand of the artist on a bad day. He copied the idea of authenticity rather than authenticity itself. The Warden actually nails Kael's core character flaw with this one profound quote. Perfection is often just another word for control. And that hits the nail on the head. Kael wanted reality to conform to his expectations, rather than just accepting its natural, messy flaws. He genuinely thought he was improving reality with his skills, but really, he was just suffocating it. He was playing God with other people's truth. Let's move into Section 3, the multiplication of self. Since Kael refuses to see the truth, the garden literally has to show him. And things get intense here, because we're about to delve into the psychological horror Kael faces as his plant dramatically accelerates its punishment. So, the replica plant evolves through these terrifying stages. It starts out with pure white mimicry, just a blank stalk. Simple enough, right? Then, it perfectly replicates the plant's neighboring plots. But Stage 3 is where the nightmare really begins, the multiplication of the self. The plant starts generating perfect, physical copies of Kael himself from its fruit. It's confronting him with the ultimate mirror before it can ever reach the final stage of true synthesis and creation. I mean, just imagine waking up to 7 copies of yourself, all speaking at once, stripping away all your comfortable lies. It's wild. These copies hurl agonizing truths right at Kael. They tell him he didn't just forge art, he forged uncertainty. He made truth negotiable. He broke the chain of provenance that lets humanity actually know what we can trust. And the absolute worst part? He used his sheer arrogance and supposedly superior intellect to justify poisoning the well of reality for everyone else. All right, Section 4, the value of bad art. So completely broken by his own reflections, Kael hits absolute rock bottom. But actually, this breakdown is exactly what the garden wants. He has to discover what remains of his true self when the mimicry finally stops. Eventually, the plant produces this synthesis figure. It's this terrifying amalgamation of every single master artist Kael ever forged, and it asks him this one devastating question. Who are you when you're not copying? Just think about that for a second. That question completely hollows Kael out. He realizes he has spent his entire life just ventriloquizing the dead. Without a master to imitate, he realizes he doesn't actually know who he is. So, the crucial point we need to take away here is understanding the difference between being original and being authentic. His fellow prisoner, Finn, shares this incredible philosophical breakthrough. He explains that originality means being completely unlike anything else, which, let's be real, is practically impossible. We're all just composites of our genetics, our culture, our influences. But authenticity means being true to yourself, even if that self is borrowed and remixed. Authenticity is a choice. You don't have to be unprecedented. You just have to be honest. And the elder forager Yevgeny drops this poignant piece of wisdom to really drive the point home. The fake flower does not pretend to be different flower. It pretends to be real flower. So you see, Kael's true crime wasn't the technical act of copying. It was the lie. It was claiming authorship instead of admitting inheritance. Moving on to Section 5, choosing the flawed original. This profound realization sets up the climax of Kael's journey in the garden. This is where his rehabilitation faces its final, monumental test. As he gets close to graduation, the plant offers Kael a choice of what object to take back into the real world. Option A is a flawless forgery of Ramir's Girl with a Pearl Earring. It's the absolute pinnacle of his technical skill, a masterpiece worth millions, but ultimately a perfect lie. Then there's Option B. Option B is his own terrible, clumsy, but incredibly sincere drawing of his replica plant. It is a messy, amateurish, but authentic truth. And in this beautiful moment of triumph, Kael rejects the masterpiece. No way is he taking that. He chooses his own terrible painting because it is real. By finally embracing his own flaws and amateurish brushstrokes, he proves he has finally learned the immense value of honest creation. He realizes that making one true thing in a lifetime of terrible art is worth so much more than making 1,000 perfect forgeries. And so he leaves the garden as an authentic creator. And finally, Section 6, the meta-authorship reveal. But wait, our explainer isn't quite over yet. Now, what's really interesting about this is the massive twist behind the story itself, hidden right there in the author's notes. The text we just explored, it wasn't written by a single human author. It was actually co-written by Max, a biological, flawed human, and Claude, a digital, programmed artificial intelligence. As the authors themselves state in the appendix, this story is a total paradox. It's an AI and a human co-writing a deep meditation on the ethics of copying, originality, and what it truly means to be real. This dual authorship brilliantly turns everything we just analyzed into a live exercise. It literally forces us to confront the blurred lines of modern art, influence, and the nature of creativity itself. Can an AI create something authentic? Are we all just pattern-matching systems, whether we're biological or digital? Which brings us to our final provocative thought. If a human and a machine can collaborate to successfully teach us about authentic creation, what truly makes art real? Does it even matter where the words came from, as long as they speak a truth that resonates with us? Or is the messy, flawed, human hand absolutely essential to the whole process? I'll leave you to ponder the nature of your own authenticity in our increasingly AI-driven world. Keep questioning, keep learning, and I'll see you on the next explainer.